Okay, now since we have already enabled our Spark stream and also loaded our data one time, like we have loaded the data, okay, and just okay, and here is the data load that we have done. Okay, so basically we have read our stream. We have used spark.read. It's a very simple read how we can read the data. Now we have created the checkpoint location. We have already enabled our schema location. Okay, and we have written the data in a Parquet format. This is all covered. Now you can see what is the count right now. The count is 990. And why the count is 990? Because this is coming from first file. Now we have to check the concept of incremental load. How incremental load is happening, right? How incremental load is happening. Where? In Azure Databricks. Right. So if you see the file, the files are stored in my source location. Let me again go back to the container. So if you see the source location, we have these files. We have order files. So I have just loaded one file which is known as orders file, right? So this order file, we have something known as order underscore first parquet. This contains 990 record. So I am having my another file. If I upload my another file from my local machine, right? And you can see I'm having a file known as order underscore second. So this is the second file. So as I mentioned you during my explanation that initially if I am having, you know, data loaded, if I am having data loaded with 9990 records, okay, these are the orders I'm having, correct? So this is first file, okay? So during my first batch, which I loaded with the help of this command, write stream. Okay, this is trigger once, exactly once, right? So it should avoid if I re-trigger it, what will happen? If I re-trigger it, it will not load anything because no data has arrived, right? But if I make this data uploaded with second file, so let's make this data uploaded for second file. So I will browse and I will use order underscore second. This is my second file. Okay. And I will upload this data. Now I am having two files. Agreed. So if I rerun this data, what will happen? Yeah. It should use the concept of autoloader. Just a second. Write stream can be called only when, okay. Okay. Sorry. This both thing has to be, triggered. Fine. So we should first read the stream. Let's read the stream. It's done. And why reading stream is important? Because every time it will check for your schema location. Because if there is no new column has arrived, imagine if the second file is having some additional column, right? So it will manage your schema location accordingly. That's the reason it has to be run. Fine. Then you have to start this write stream. Okay. So you can see, you can see it's done. It's done in 7.5 records per second. Okay, it has taken 1.3 seconds in total. Fine, so this is completed. Now if you want to read the data, let me read, let me go with display also. Dot display, I want to display count as, and I want to display data as well, right? So if so, let's first see my branch container. I will go inside my storage account, I will go inside my branch, and I can go within this, and I can see there are two files now. One file was uploaded at 12:15, and just now I uploaded with 12:29. This is the second file, right? You can see the size also, because this is containing 9,990 records, and this is containing only 10 record, right? So if I combine both these things, what should be my count? The count should be 10,000 records, right? So if I run this, the count should come as 10,000 records. This is the earlier one. Okay, so let me run this. Previously the count was coming 99,990. Now you can see how many records are there. 10,000 records. What does that mean? It means that the system has automatically handled your incremental load. And how it is handled, it handled with the help of autoloader. Making sense? It handled with the help of autoloaders. Now we can check where this autoloader is maintained, right? Where this autoloader is maintained, correct? So let's go inside the checkpoint location. So obviously what I told that autoloader is maintained within the checkpoint location, autoloader and schema location, both the things. So this is the checkpoint location. It is maintained within rocksdb folder, right? So you can see we are inside the checkpoint location, and you can see there are, okay, there are metadata folder offsets schemas. You can go inside the schema. Now wait. They have restructured it. Okay, initially we have check rocksdb folder. They have kept it somewhere. Okay, go to sources. Okay, if you go to sources within the 0 folder, you can see this rocksdb folder. So every time system will read this rocksdb folder, and it will make sure that it will only run with the concept of exactly once. If you go there, right? So we have these logs are there. We have these folders are there, right? So for example, when you loaded first time, what has happened? You loaded first time on 12:15. So logs 0 plus 1 zip file was there. Another second and third zip file was there, right? You can see. Okay. If you want to check the logs, go inside the logs, and you can see there are two logs. Logs folder was maintained. So this is log first, log second. Okay. If you want to check, you were not able to see the data, because earlier system was, you have to download and then check the data. Okay, only if you want to check the data while downloading. Okay, this is a Parquet format, so you cannot directly see the data, but you can see the, so logs are maintained. Okay, that is not for your view, but it will, based on these logs, it will load the data. Okay, so this verifies the concept of how autoloader works. So within, for your interview questions, it's very important to understand that autoloader works on the basis of your checkpoint location, and within checkpoint location we have rocksdb folder, and within the rocksdb folder it maintains all the logs information and whatever loaded the data previously. Okay, so all the story is mentioned over here, right? So this is the concept of loading data incrementally or as a data load, incremental delta load. Okay. Okay,